Hello, everybody. My name is Lorenzo Davis. I'm 27 years old. I'm born and raised in Seattle, Washington. I am a current student of psychology going for my Bachelor's of Arts at Eastern Washington University. I am not an academic scholar, nor am I a licensed professional. I am just an average guy who has questions. And one of the questions that I have is, what is my purpose here on this earth? What is the role that I play in society? What are the goals and values that I attempt to live up to, that I strive for excellence to be the best man that I can be? And how can I be there more for those who love me the most, my family and my friends? I'm sure that these questions are questions that all of us have asked at one point. And from the beginning of human civilization to the development of new technologies and the advancement of science, I'm sure that there's many research articles and scholarly journals that attempt to make sense of this world that sometimes we often find too complicated. But some of the most meaningful things in life are often rooted in simplicity. It is the simple things in life that means the most. I recently wrote a speech, well, actually, it was in 2010, called The Sound Disposition of Societal Progress. It received a wide range of attention. I posted it on YouTube and you can actually look it up. However, I never had the chance to actually explain the core themes and core principles of that speech. I've grown dramatically since then, and I continue to evolve every day. But one of the key things in that speech is based on humanity, is based on understanding that we all come from a common source, even though our stories, our narratives, our personal beliefs, our values, our attitudes and behaviors may be different, may differ in some aspects. We all can find a common ground that is not rooted in theory, but rooted in real life, is rooted in action, is rooted in history, is rooted in when we look at our neighbors and we see the love that is in them, or we can see the hate that is in them. It is all about being part of a common family that scientists and biologists for years have proven that we are genetically 99.9%, 100% come from a common tree that continues to evolve, continue to grow, that the whole concept of race and wars and differences and all the strife that we see going on in the media when we turn on our news stations, all these things are only social constructs. They're real, but they're all based on our minds. The illusions that we have of superiority and that other groups or minorities are inferior because they do not believe the way that we believe. Whenever we have a discussion about politics or religion, it often turns into a very heated debate. And it even turns into fights and wars and people dying and killing. We can look at that as self evident. So if we are actually all one family, we are all human, then why do we continue to have these different battles and wars? Why do we continue to fight each other and hate each other and none of us come together on a common ground? I suggest that we have a certain level of intolerance. We have a certain level of pride and we have a certain lack of self esteem. And it is this lack of self esteem where we feel the need to put others down in order to make ourselves feel superior. But in actuality, we only are compensating for the perceived lack that we have in our own lives. My speech on a sound disposition describes how we can go through a process of rationality, how we can come to terms and grips with who we are as individuals, how we are all related to some respects, and how we can think carefully think through the problems that we have and effectively come up with solutions. A sound disposition requires us to have a certain level of judgment. It requires us to live by the values and the principles that we espouse, and it abides by the common rule that we treat others like we want to be treated. It is simple, but yet it's so hard to practice. We don't see that too often. No matter where we're from, no matter what country we were born into, we seem to adopt the social norms of the majority of society. And those who actually take a stand to voice their opinion are often ostracized and segregated from their communities. It is a very sad thing that a person has to go through that for only being who they are and nothing else. But in order for us to truly make societal progress, we must love each other. We don't always have to agree with each other. There is a beauty of having differences. There is a beauty of having diversity. When you go to the store and you buy some jelly beans, all the jelly beans in that store are different colors. But if you just only have one option, if you only had one color, how pleasurable would that be? How good would that be? Sometimes when we go to the grocery store, we are presented with so many different choices, so many different options that sometimes it's hard for us to even decide what item or product we really want. But yet, when we deal with people, living, breathing human beings, human souls, it's real easy to fall into our own biases, our own preconceived notions. It's real easy to shut other people out when they have an opinion or when they have a difference or something, or when they do something that we don't like. The sound disposition and societal progress that I outlined in my speech deals with the purpose, it deals with the meaning of why we exist. It deals with the settling our differences and getting along with people who look different than us, who believe different than us. Martin Luther King, he had a dream that we will all be united, that we will all come together. Yet it's been so many years and his dream has not realized, has not been realized. We have a black president. Sure, we've made progress, but we are nowhere where we need to be. There's still racism, there's still discrimination, there's still a lot of different conflicts that occurs. Greed, people are not even caring about what you look like no more as long as they can exploit you for some type of financial gain. It's all about money. And sometimes those in power, the ones who are making the laws, they are actually breaking these laws and they're imposing laws on you so you can be stuck where you're at. Because if I have power, if I have money, and I've been living by this core belief or value system, and I've been benefiting under the current system, then why would I do anything to change it? Why would I change the gun laws? Why would I change the same-sex marriage laws? Why would I change the drug laws? Why would I change all different type of crimes and robberies and thefts and assaults and domestic violence? Why do I change the corporate bylaws? Why would I change all these different laws when I am the one that is benefiting under the current system as it stands? No, change will not be possible without the people stepping up together and forming progressive alliances and social networks with different organizations who may have differences, but they're reaching a common goal for a common agenda to work together. Let's not have democracy and participation in governmental politics in theory. Let's have it in reality. Let's have it in actuality. Dr. Abraham Maslow talked about the hierarchy of needs, a notable psychologist that described our need for survival and how we have the need to love and express ourselves and how we continue to build upon these needs in order for us to reach the highest needs, which is self-actualization. And that is what my speech is essentially pointing to. It's a pointing to the common humanity and how we can reach a stage of self-actualization by having a certain level of tolerance, by appreciating diversity, by being able to engage in a meaningful but often sometimes contentious discussion and still coming to a better understanding that, hey, at the end of the day, we might not know what we think we know. There is a potential for us to be wrong. It is about having a certain level of humility and letting go of our egos, letting go of our pride, letting go of these preconceived notions and being willing and open to listen to someone else who has different experiences than you. And it's a hard thing to do, especially when we have been conditioned since the time that we were kids to think or behave in a certain way. It could have been the family dynamics, it could have been the community constraints, or it could have been the broader societal norms. Whatever the rules that govern the behavior and our conduct is ultimately destroying ourselves because we find ourselves enjoying and subscribing to beliefs and value systems that in actuality we really don't believe in because we never took the time to do that critical reflection, that introspection, that sound disposition I was talking about, that rationality. We examine the values that we have been told, that we have been taught. We have the conscious mind, and this is where we make the decisions. This is where we can think, we can analyze, we can reason, we can also rationalize or justify or make excuses for our behavior. And we have the subconscious mind where we're not even thinking about it. It's our behavior, it's the way that we act. That's why sometimes we do things and we're not even realizing what we're really doing. We're acting off of impulses and irrational behavior. But as we continue to formulate a plan of action to get along, to reduce prison recidivism rates, to be able to unite all different types of belief systems and religious ideologies, to do something about high unemployment rates and inadequate health care, and do something about the criminal justice system that is that is partial in its sentencing laws, that is sentencing innocent people to death, putting them in gas chambers and putting them, killing them in the death sentence, and doing all these different things because of their belief system, because of their race, because they have advanced to a certain level, and now they fear the political implications, and they need to secure the system the way that it is, with all these different things that are acclimated and attributed outside of ourselves. We can internalize the different dynamics of what actually is occurring in our own life and how we can manage our affairs and interactions when we deal with people who are intolerant. And that is the ultimate goal. How can you be tolerant when you're in an intolerant world? And I would suggest that education, training, resources in the community, all these things can help contribute to a more just and balanced society. And this outlines the basics of my speech about the sound disposition, societal progress, how we can acknowledge that there's going to be pain, there is going to be suffering, there is going to be hardships. It's a natural, normal part of life. But how can we harness and how can we manage the internal conflicts that we wrestle with in our own lives about what to do today when we wake up in the morning, where to go when we don't even have a roadmap to go anywhere? How can I get along with this person when I really don't even like his attitude? But we tend to place the blame on external factors and everybody else who is doing something to us rather than taking responsibility for our own choices and our own decisions. Dr. Viktor Frankl, a notable psychiatrist, he was locked up in a Nazi Germany, in a concentration camp. His family was put into gas chambers and incinerated. He didn't know where his family was. He was interacting with all the other different prisoners who was in there, and the only thing that kept him was alive was hope. He had the hope that one day he would be reunited with his family. He would break off little pieces of bread and share it with other people. Even under that harsh circumstance, that harsh condition, people still demonstrated love. They demonstrated compassion. They demonstrated caring for one another. They demonstrated humanity. And that is what it's about at the end of the day. It's about humanity. And this is just a little brief survey of what I outlined 4 years ago in my speech about the sound disposition and societal progress. I hope you all got something out of it. Hopefully it was inspiring. If you have any questions, you can email me at lorenzod925@gmail.com. Thank you.